This video shows how to prepare and protect yourself against ransomware. This is a very important thing today. And the ransomware exploits the Windows Server message blocks, which is used to share files and printers across local networks. This is a very important thing. First of all, what is a ransomware? It is a type of malicious software that threatens to publish your data, because in most cases these are data that are very important to you, and it perpetually blocks access to it unless you are prepared to pay the ransom. While some simple ransomware may lock the computer in a way which is not difficult for a knowledgeable person to reverse, there are more advanced ones that make use of a technique that makes it impossible for you to decrypt the data that have been encrypted unless you make a payment. So in essence, you are not able to have access to your files on the computer, and because you have required to make the payment. So in a properly implemented extortion program with this kind of encrypting your files, recovering the files without the encryption is not something that is possible, and it is also very impossible to trace any payment, the person receiving the money from you, because that is the purpose, to make sure that it is impossible to trace any information to them. So ransomware attacks are typically carried out using a Trojan, entering a system through, for example, it can enter your computer through a file you downloaded online, or it can also be, for example, through a vulnerability in a network service, which is the most common one. And that is the one I am really going to be preparing or making a recommendation for today. The program will now, after that, run a payload which locks the system in some fashion, or claims to lock the system but does not. So in most cases, it will lock the system so that you will not have access to your files. And payloads may display a fake warning purportedly by an entity. So it can be from an entity like impersonating a law enforcement agency, falsely claiming that the system has been used for illegal activities, and it contains content such as pornography and pirated media and things like that. So, and also another thing is that some payloads consist simply of an application designed to lock or restrict the system until payment is made, typically by setting the Windows shell to itself, or even modifying the master boot record or the partition table to prevent the operating system from booting until it is repaired. So for example, the most sophisticated payloads encrypt files, with many using strong encryption to encrypt the files on the computer in such a way that the only malware author has the needed decryption key. So that means the person who created the malware is the one that is able to provide any decryption. And payment is virtually always the goal, because they need the money from you. And the victim in most cases is forced into paying the ransom, some amount of money, which can be $300, $500, and it can even in some cases be thousands of dollars. So this is something that is very, very important, that needs to be taken into consideration. Now, to really protect yourself against this, you really need to visit this particular website of Microsoft, because it has to do with having some security updates on your computer if you make use of a network a network system. So just go to this particular page and browse and look at the kind of operating system you are making use of, to download the specific vulnerability patches for your operating system, so that at the end of the day, you can really protect yourself against any kind of ransomware that can really make your important files impossible to recover.